So my name is Jessica Benoit. I and myself and Tabitha and Gail are going to be doing a webinar for you this evening on the benefits of virtual training. And so we'll just introduce ourselves quickly. There's still a few people coming in, so we'll just make sure everybody's getting in here. Just give me a sec. Perfect. So if you guys have any questions at all, we are going to ask that you save them kind of for the end, or you can put them in the chat window and we'll answer them as we can. So I will introduce us. If I can, there we go. So I am the co-owner of Companion Veterinary Clinic. I am also a registered veterinary technologist and a certified professional dog trainer through Karen Pryor Academy and the Certification Council of Professional Dog Trainers. And I am also fear-free certified. So I will let Gail introduce herself, and then Tabitha can introduce herself, and then we'll get started.
Okay, I'm Gail, and hi everyone. I'm a licensed veterinary technician in Texas. I'm also Karen Pryor Academy certified professional trainer, certified dog trainer, and I own my own business, Pawsitive Dimensions, and I provide behavior education and training services for pet owners, veterinarians, and shelters in the area. And Tabitha.
Thank you for the cue, behavior. So my name is Tabitha Cusera. I am a registered vet tech. It's an RVT trainer party in here. I'm a registered vet tech, fear-free, low-stress handling certified. I am a certified cat behavior consultant, and I am also a KPA CTP. I own Chirrups and Chatter cat and dog behavior consulting and training. I offer behavior and training services to the general public and shelters and veterinarian hospitals as well.
All right, so let's get started. Gail's going to start us off when this thing lets me move it. Here we go.
Maybe. All right, so this is what we're going to talk about this evening. What you need to know about virtual consultations, common behaviors that can be addressed. We're each going to go over a case study success that we had, so you get an idea of what's going on. And then we have a little bonus. We're going to start you guys off on enrichment and tasks you can do right now today at home. And then we will finish up with some questions and answer any questions you have, actually. So we can get started here. So what is a virtual consult? It's really kind of like FaceTime, but with your pet. And I bet some of you kind of do that already. So you're going to be talking to a trainer, just like kind of how we're talking now. So it allows us to connect and help our clients and you, pet owners and pets who aren't physically able to come to us because of the time, distance, or other kind of constraints that may be present. And the tools that can be used for virtual are typically the platforms are like Zoom, Skype, FaceTime. If we run into a little technical difficulties, we can always do phone consults and emails, emailing videos just in case, but we use those for support anyways. So we just wanted to include that. And we wanted to know, we are going to be talking about group training classes. So this is not your typical online class. This is when the instructor is actually there here with you. And then all the other students are set up kind of like the Brady Bunch in all different squares. And he'll be talking that way. And also private sessions where it's one-on-one. So you're just
in your house,
you with the trainer in your house. Okay. So the most important thing is that you're getting immediate relief and instant professional guidance with a click. And notice we are all clicker trainers. So it's right away, right? So if you're having a problem, we just really want you to know that you can get help right away. We don't have to wait. And honestly, we don't want you to wait because I know right now things are a little up in the air with the way life is happening. So the longer you wait, the more it can lead to frustration. And we all have enough stress in our lives, and we really love our pets, and we want to preserve that relationship you have with them. So things you may encounter, you may be having current behavior issues. Maybe you are at home more, and you're noticing behaviors you haven't noticed before. Or maybe those cute and endearing behaviors that you have seen are now a problem because you are trying to work from home. Maybe you have been wanting to train your pet, but you just didn't have the time, and now you do. Maybe you are home and you need something else to do besides scrolling through social media and binging on Netflix. You need to give your eyes a little break and step away. Potentially, you just want to enhance the time with your pet, so you just really want to enjoy them more. And honestly, please consider this. The time that you usually spend driving, traveling, going to and from work, going to and from errands, just take a fraction of that time. And if you use that for training with your pet, and when I mean a fraction of that time, I mean like 5 minutes twice a day, you will be surprised how far that will take you. So this is really, really doable. And then aside from the time you spend with us, in the virtual, we're not asking a lot of you to actually see success, okay? So at home, it is less stressful environment for you and your pet. So to be in a place where you're familiar and comfortable really facilitates learning for everyone. So if I wanted to teach you advanced calculus and I'm like, I'm going to take you to the Super Bowl and let's sit down and let's focus, you're going to be a little bit out of control. You're not going to be able to focus and you're not going to be able to learn. So the same thing goes for our pets if they're in a weird environment, especially if they're fearful. So virtual training is really good for that. We don't have to put any extra pressure on them right away. And we can get you started on management and training exercises, and then we can just build upon that and kind of set you out into the real world when that will happen. Let's see. Also, there's no car travel necessary. Sorry, I'm still on the last slide. I'm catching up.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. There's no car travel necessary. So if your dog doesn't travel well, then that increases stress for both you and your dog. Also, it's a little convenient, so you don't have to clean your house for anybody. It's really important to know that we don't need to see the behavior in person or in action to help you. Maybe there's some exceptions, but especially not the fearful or aggressive type stuff. We never ever want to set up situations for you to set up situations to actually catch the behavior on video, but often even in person consultations, we will ask you to videotape normal interactions with your pet and just see what's going on, and potentially a video tour of the house. So that's going to happen anyways. But again, we don't want to see the behavior, or we don't need to see the behavior. And actually, I don't want to see them all stressed out. We want to prevent that from happening. Also, our presence in your home actually makes the pet act a little different than he normally would. And honestly, with the cat consultations, most of the time, the cat is hiding. So we don't get to work with them. Okay. It's a lot more.
Sorry, Gail, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 sec. I have tried to mute everybody, but there's something, I can hear somebody's video. So does everyone just mind checking if you're muted? Because I can hear someone moving around in their house, and it's very distracting because I can't seem to figure out who it is, and everyone is muted. But sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure everybody can hear well, because we're having some problems hearing, I think. I think that's better. I think now we're muted. Okay, sorry, Gail, continue.
Okay, no, perfect, thank you. So I think, flexible times. I was at, without travel, we can be more flexible with times. So we may have a night or two where we are doing appointments after 5 o'clock, whereas normally we would stop at 5. We can also do maybe earlier in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock if you're a morning person. We can also see more appointments this way and get you in a little sooner. You're also getting the same professional knowledge as expertise as you would in person. Your trainer is actually your trainer. It's the same person. So just understand that the majority of training is coaching you as the pet owner. We're improving your communication and your training skills that you need to be able to live with your pet and improve the behavior of your pet. So the majority of time, a virtual consultation can be just as helpful as solving or minimizing your pet's behavior concerns. And I just wanted to add, before I go on to what you expect, I just want to add something about puppies. We really want to start puppies and kittens off on the right paw, and right now is especially tricky. Puppies and kittens have a very short window for socialization. So just so we're all on the same page, socialization is the period or the process of familiarizing puppies to the world around them, and it has to be a fun, positive manner. We want to make sure that they are having a really good time. And there's a critical window where it's a time period where the puppies and kittens are more open to new experiences. So puppies, it's like 3 to 12 weeks and up to 16 weeks, depending on who you talk to. And we really focus on like the 6 to 12 week section. And kittens, it's a lot smaller. It's 3 to 7 weeks and potentially up to 10 weeks. So right now, it's really important that we try to maximize creativity for socialization in your home in order to prepare for future life on the other side of this and outside of the home. And it's also going to be super important to work on independent exercises so they are more comfortable when we are on the other side of this and you're not home as much. So trainer can definitely help you with this. So what can you expect? So now you are face-to-face with your trainer on the computer screen, and you are going to kind of do the same things you would in a regular consultation. It's just that you're not standing next to each other. Okay. So you're going to discuss the agenda, the topics. You'll have a demonstration. It'll be live, usually with one of our pets, or it could be with a stuffed animal. We'll give you very specific instructions. So then you can step back into your training space, run through an exercise, and then come back to the computer, and we'll do the discussion, we'll do some feedback, and we can repeat. So you get real-time assistance and feedback, and you're able to ask questions. But there's a little bit of a bonus with this too, because we can share our screens. So we can, we can draw pictures, we can go over handouts, we can show you how-to videos pertaining to whatever exercise or whatever questions you have. So we can offer that kind of benefit. So it's the same thing, preventative solutions, management and assistance. We're going to give you the same training for training mechanics. So like for clicker training, how to use the clicker, where to deliver the treat, all that stuff. And as a bonus, these sessions can actually be recorded and sent to you for reference. And it's really a benefit because if you haven't been watching a lot of videos of yourself training, you can actually see a lot more. So when you're doing something, you don't realize as much as when you step back and then you look at it from outside of the picture, you can notice a lot more, and it can be really, really helpful. Okay, next.
Ready for me?
Yes. And then we just wanted to go over just a few things on how to maximize success for one of these training sessions. So a couple days before the appointment, at least, you want to predetermine where you're going to be doing this training session, and you're just going to take like 10 treats, go to that area, and just give your pet a treat, one after the other, okay? And then you're going to do the same thing maybe the next day, but then you're going to have your laptop, tablet, or phone, whatever you're going to be using, and have them kind of out in position, and then do the same thing, take 10 treats, one after the other. And then you can start to add in more visual things like turning it on, maybe having the phone or tablet in selfie mode. You can add in sound. You can play talk radio. You can have a conversation on speakerphone. You just want to get your pet used to preview of what's going to be happening in that area. Okay. And then the day of the appointment, or just before the appointment, maybe 10, 15 minutes, you just want to prepare yourself a little more. So just notify your family. So either if they're participating, they can join you. If they're not participating, they know not to interrupt you. And then you can secure pets outside of the room if they're not involved in the training, because most definitely, if they are not out of the room, they're going to be curious and wanting to participate in the training, which is actually pretty cool. But it's challenging to manage if you haven't done that before. And then you're going to gather all your supplies. So obviously set everything up technically, gather all your supplies, and we will be sure to let you know exactly what you need. So you will be well prepared for that. And then just have a notebook handy with you. So if you have any questions prepared for us, you'll remember them. And then also you can take a few notes if you have to, but remember, we can record it so we can send it back to you as a review as well. Okay.
And we just have a note from Joanna. She just said, if anybody isn't aware of Trello, that it's a great way to take personal notes to share with your clients as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Perfect. And then I think I'm going to hand it over to Jessica, who's going to go over the common behaviors. Yeah.
So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about things that we can address and help with. So Gail had mentioned preventative puppy and kitten behaviors. So we can have those conversations about house training and crate training and what appropriate play looks like between puppies or kittens. Discuss the biting that we can sometimes have happening with our puppies and kittens as well. So these are all conversations and behavior concerns that we can help with via virtual consult, and then as well as your nuisance behaviors. So you're jumping on people, rushing the front door, begging behaviors, destructive chewing. So all those sorts of things can be taught while doing a virtual session. And then we do very basic manners: sit down, your place, loose walking. And it's almost funny sometimes because we assume, well, if we're training for loose leash walking, we need to be doing it outside. But we often recommend that when you're first teaching a behavior, that you make sure that the environment is as calm and quiet as possible. And so doing this in your home initially before taking them outside and hoping that they're going to respond to a clicker and treats doesn't always work. So it's really nice to kind of get your foundation behaviors taught in a low stress environment, like in your house initially. And then what we do, of course, is teach you about body language, how to communicate with your cats and dogs. And then this is just a cute video of one of my clients. And this is a really nice front door behavior. It's a good example of that. And so what we did was we transferred the sound of the front door to a place cue. And this was just a few sessions in for Marley. So you can take a look at that. Place. Good girl. So that's a really good behavior to have, especially for front doors. And it's just one of many behaviors that we can teach this way. And then eventually what happens is guests come over, they go to their place, and it's beautiful. Nobody's jumping at the front door. So the other things that we can address, so if you are dealing with more serious behavior concerns like fear, anxiety, aggression, which is usually fear and anxiety based, or things such as house soiling, going out of the litter box, those sorts of more concerning behaviors, we always recommend initially that you do see your veterinarian for a medical workup and for diagnostics, and then plus or minus anything else that they think is necessary. And then once we have a diagnosis, we can help with the behavior modification in that regard. And so we are able to address these more concerning behavior issues. And when we do behavior modification sessions, often there's a lot of talking involved in those sessions. There's not always a lot of clickers and treats and a bunch of different behaviors that you get often with your puppy and kitten training sessions. So these work really well virtually, because we do have to have a lot of conversations about management and how we can set your pet up to succeed. And sometimes just teaching one or two behaviors initially before we get into a whole plethora of things. So that's what we discuss for there. For training, you don't know that you need is what we labeled this one. These are the fun things that we can do. Well, everything's fun, but this is just some more additional stuff that we can do. So cooperative veterinary care, teaching alternatives to nail trims, teaching cats and dogs to enjoy being handled, blood collection, all of these things we can teach virtually. We have a really nice video on this slide of medication training that I'll show you guys right away as well. Tricks, especially right now, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but because the kids are home from school, they can do, they're awesome clicker trainers. Kids are wonderful clicker trainers. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Discussing things that you can do in your home for your senior pets to help make things a little bit more easy for cats, especially. We like to put our litter boxes in easy to reach areas. We like to make sure that they have a lot of enrichment. So these are things that we can help you guys with. Harness training. So you can see the beautiful kitty up there. Is that Chip, Tabitha? Yeah. With harness. On going outside for a walk. So it's not, most cats and some dogs are not as willing to just have a harness sometimes just strapped on and let's go outside. It's something that we need to shape, and we need to teach them that good things happen when the harness is on, and get them more comfortable. So that's something we can teach as well. And then of course, fun games. And since we're stuck inside right now, and I think some of our pets might be bored, we might also be bored. This helps as well. So I'm going to show you guys this video. Tabitha, do you want to introduce it?
I medication train all my kitties. So as a veterinary technician and a trainer, I don't want medications to be stressful for anybody, because when your animal's sick and then you have to worry about stressing both of yourselves out with the medication, it's just a lot. So there's a lot of really cool ways trainers like us can help, even virtually, because I do it quite often already prior to the lovely quarantine we are all in now. But in this video, I've trained my cat to go to a station, to a specific place. When I say meds, he happily chooses to go to that place. And then you'll see that he happily takes both of his medications. He has some shaven areas in this video. He just had a dental cleaning with an echo. So he had some shaven areas for that lovely stuff. And his tail is up, his ears are forward, he is stoked. He's like, give me the meds, Mom, which is awesome. And my other cats, we're training them now too, but at the time we were not. They wanted in though, which is totally okay.
They just want to join the fun.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, it's an awesome video.
And even if your cats, for example, aren't on medications, this is something that a trainer like one of us can easily help start getting you to implement. And then if your cat is on meds in the future or needs subcutaneous fluids or whatever it may be, we can make it a lot less stressful for everyone involved. And in some cases, we can even make the cats happily enjoy it, or your dogs as well. So great stuff.
Absolutely. So we're just going to go on to the next slide here. So this is the slide I was telling you guys about. Kids and clickers. So I have two children. They're in the first video. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they are wonderful clicker trainers. And my daughter has actually been clicker training since she was 2. So it gives them wonderful opportunity to bond with the pets in the house. It helps them understand body language, because we know that that's where a lot of miscommunication comes from with adults and children, is that they just don't know what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. And so this gives them the opportunity to see maybe what an excited and happy cat looks like, as opposed to one that's stressed, and to know how to handle that and how to teach them that being around them means that good things happen. So it helps strengthen the relationships, and kids love to teach tricks. That's probably the first thing that I have kids do, is do touch. So they just like to target. So I'll show you this is nice if you have multiple children. What we do in our house is I let my oldest daughter use the clicker because she's just a little bit faster. And as a trainer, I get a little anxiety when the timing is off. And then my son tosses the treat, and that's an easy job for him. So I'll just show you guys this. So this is our tripod cat. She's working on sit. No, so that's them capturing sit. And then this bottom video, it's a little hard to see the little dark guy there, but that is a guinea pig named Penny. And she has been taught to target. This is one of my clients' daughters. They do a lot of work with they have guinea pigs and cats and dogs, and so they do a lot of really good work with them. And I think she's getting some spinach. She likes spinach. All right, so that's what we're talking about with how we can help. That's what we can do. We can go through all of these behaviors with you guys, teach your children to do this as well. And I just have a few questions here, it looks like. Tabitha, somebody has a question about the medication. They said, are there recommendations, suggestions for when medication itself is distasteful? And that's when she seems to lose her cat's willingness to participate.
So unfortunately, most meds are gross. So the meds that my cat actually took in that video, and a lot of the meds my other cat is on currently also are gross, which is where the training comes in. Because I know that video looked really simple. Like I just gave them some food and had them take their meds, but there were a lot of steps where we taught my cat to happily accept, to go to a place, create positive associations with that place, and also happily accept taking, like he'll just eat a pill. I could just put a pill down. It could be gross and he'll still eat it because we worked on breaking down those kind of shaping into small steps to get that video is just the final beautiful behavior, because everyone's always like, that doesn't work if the meds aren't gross, but that's where the behavior training comes in. So unfortunately, most medications are gross, but there are a lot of really cool steps that we could do to help the cats happily accept those medications. For example, a lot of cats don't commonly get different foods. Like puppies tend to get foods dropped for them accidentally. And then when cats don't feel good, we're like, my cat just doesn't like foods. Dogs eat it in bacon, cats stereotype. But the cats actually don't ever get just random new foods. And then we're like, you feel like butt, you went to the vet, let me give you a new food and put the meds in it. You're difficult. This isn't the cat. So basically with the training, along with some of the stationing and some other things I teach, we teach them to basically happily accept, like, I'm going to eat that gross thing because I know something else good is coming, but it's a little more in depth than I can explain in like a brief section. But that's a really good point, because a lot of people see that video and they're like, if the meds taste gross, it doesn't work. But unfortunately, most meds taste gross, and there's a lot of really cool things that all three of us could help your animals happily accept, including medications or even blood draws. So.
Yes. All right. So Gail's going to start us off with a case study that she did successfully through virtual training. That's my son. Sorry about that. So go ahead.
We all have our kids at home. Not me and Gail, but
sorry. I can't keep them out of the house.
So this is Maximus Peanut. He's the cutest little bunny. The owner contacted me because she was newly adopted and she had these grand goals for him, and everything needed to be done in this first 2 weeks that she had him. She needed to get going right away, but she wanted to have him walk on a leash. She wanted to sit in laps, be like cuddle bunny. She wanted him to stop nipping at her. And by the way, he's really afraid of people. She said he was okay with her, but definitely is afraid of her nieces, and her nieces want nothing more than to like chase him around the house and pick him up. So that was a little bit of a problem. But, you know, as we were talking to her, there was really not a good idea for me to go there if he's afraid of people, because he is going to be hiding the entire time. So especially with prey animals, if they're afraid, it's like life and death, and they're not going to come out until they feel comfortable. So if I were going to go to the house and do these training sessions, it may have taken a couple of weeks in training sessions to get going. And we need to try to get him acclimated to her right away. So we started virtual sessions, you know, within the week. And with the virtual session, I can notice by his body language that he really wasn't comfortable with the owner in the first place, even though she thought he was. So we started just on relationship building techniques, foraging activities. So we got her doing some other things. And then the next time we met, we started working on some of the activities, and he was more willing to hang out with her. So I was able to do, and this is just an example. I have the picture of the harness because we were able to get a harness on him, and he walks around now with a harness. Just as kind of a side note, I do not recommend harnesses for all bunnies. This is something I discussed in detail with her. It's just, you have to be very careful because bunnies have a very fragile back. And if they spook and kick out, and there's pressure on that harness, they can hurt their back, potentially break it. So it has to be very slow, very systematic. And through the virtual consultations, I was able to walk her through that. And I used demos on my own pets as well as a stuffed rabbit. And it worked really, really well. And she wanted to continue services. She wanted to do more handling. We got the bunnies on the lap, but we didn't get the pickup part because, again, when you pick up bunnies, they don't get picked up in the wild ever, not even by their mother. So they think they're going to die. So we were working on that. We got him carrier trained. So he just calls it a house. She'll say house and he'll go in his house. And we did some enrichment and tricks to kind of build their relationship. And now her nieces are, he's built a relationship with them as well. And we did a virtual with the girls, the little girls as well. So they're younger, so they're like 7 and 9. And that was really fun. So this is definitely an opportunity for kids as well. But I don't know, it works. Sometimes it may seem weird, but it really is helpful.
All right, sorry, I'm just going to answer a question here about Zoom, actually. Joanna just was wondering about how it works, and so and membership. So I'm just going to answer that for her. It's just, if you need a membership to run Zoom, if you're running longer than 40 minutes. So if you're going to run any virtual consult or longer than 40 minutes, if you're a trainer, if a trainer sends you a link to join, it doesn't matter because it'll be up to them to have that membership. But if you're a trainer and you're wanting to run sessions, then you do need to have a membership if you're going to be running longer than 40 minutes. So I will move on to my case study. These two, this was Doug and Edwin. And Edwin is the cat, and he was in the home first. And so he did not have any previous experience with dogs, and that's my dog, making some noise right now. So Edwin essentially was a little bit uncomfortable with Doug when he first came in. And so what we had done was we set up management prior to Doug being adopted. We knew he had some experience with cats, but not had ever lived with them before. And so what we did was we set up a baby gate. We made sure that there was enough elevated spaces for Edwin so he could get away if he needed to get away. And also cats like to be on elevated spaces, so it made him more comfortable. And then because we didn't want these guys in the same space initially, we wanted to do this very carefully, just desensitizing that way, we made sure that they had a lot of enrichment separately. So Doug went for walks. Edwin also went for walks. He is harness trained. Then they would have either food dispensing toys on either side of the gates, so that we were kind of passively helping them make a positive association with one another. And then because there were a few instances that Doug would see Edwin and he would start barking. And so we were careful to ensure that we kept them far enough away so that everybody was comfortable. And we would work to we were clicker training Doug. So we were teaching him that every single time he looked at Edwin, he got a click and treat. And then on the other side of the gate, Edwin was either enjoying a food dispensing toy, or he was also being clicker trained by the other handler in the house, and the other owner in the house. And so this worked out really well for them, because the home was also big enough that they could be separated comfortably, and we could come together for short behavior modification sessions and control the interactions. And now these two, they live comfortably with one another. But this was all done over a virtual consult. I didn't need to be in the house to set this up. I could, that's my dog. I could just talk to owners through it. I showed videos of what we call the engage disengage exercise. So just a way to desensitize and counter condition. And then that's how we worked it. So it worked out well for both of them. And now Tabitha's going to go for her case study. I need to move my dog from this room. So I'll be right back.
So I love virtual consults. I was actually doing a lot of these prior to us hanging out in our homes. And I do a lot of cats and dogs, and most of the dogs I work with have fear, aggression, or pretty severe anxiety. So in most cases, humans are triggers. So for most of the dogs I work with, if I'm a trigger and that pushes that dog over a threshold or to a place where he can't think or focus, I usually tell the client, we actually have a phone consult prior to me even going to the home to help them with management and set things up. Since for many of my dog clients, they have fear of people, especially weird new people. So I love virtual consults for dogs, but also for cats. This is Luna. She's amazing. Her mother lives out of state, so she found me and we scheduled a virtual consult a few months ago. The main concern at the time was she was urinating out of the litter box. And she didn't seem to like the dogs in the home as well. So we worked together. I had them fill out a behavior questionnaire prior to the consult, like I do with all my clients. We scheduled a Zoom consult where I had them take me on a tour of their house with their lovely computer so I could see where everything was, what the environment looked like, and also meet their cat. Because as Gail mentioned, a lot of cats, when I go to in-home consults, they're fearful. And if an animal is fearful, it is inappropriate for me as a trainer, or anyone as a trainer for that matter, to be like, so you're really scared under this bed. I'm going to reach and grab you and then train you. So in most cases, in my in-home consults with cats, if they're fearful, I don't interact with them, especially if they're afraid of me. So I worked with the clients to come up with a management plan. Hey, these are things you can do right now while we implement behavior modification, which is changing behavior, and that takes time. And we worked together and we got her going back in the box, which is wonderful. And then also, the thing I'm a really big fan of, especially because we are all veterinary technicians, I see a lot of underlying medical issues or problems when I meet animals, especially cats, but also dogs. So in a home setting, a cat especially may show some signs of pain that they may not show at the veterinary clinic for a variety of reasons. So I always have my clients get videos of their animals' gaits, so their walks and just their natural behaviors when I'm not present, whether or not it's virtual. And based on videos and talking to the client, we noticed that Luna had a lot of signs of pain that were subtle to most people, but screamed out to me because of my medical and behavior background. So the greatest thing is we got to work with her vet, and now we have Luna on pain medication. And guess what? She loves the dogs. So she was in a lot of pain, which probably also affected her initial house soiling behavior and then some other issues. So not only can we help behaviorally, but sometimes as veterinary technicians, we can see underlying medical concerns where we can then reach out to their veterinarian and work together to get that animal more comfortable. So now Luna gets along really well with the dogs. That's her cuddling near the dogs, and her mom could not believe it. So she shared with me it right away. And then a few months later, they noticed Luna was waking the caregivers up in the middle of the night. So they reached out again because we've stayed in contact, and we helped resolve that issue. And along with that, we also talked about how can we meet your cat's physical and mental needs, because a lot of animals' physical and mental needs aren't being met for a variety of reasons. There's not a lot of information about it generally. So we made sure that her needs were being met, and we changed the environment to make it more comfortable for her as a senior cat. And she is living her best life, cuddling all the dogs. She's probably annoying to the dogs now. But it's just an example of how virtual consults can actually be really helpful, because as behavior consultants and trainers, a lot of what we're asking clients to do is our job is to help you understand your pet and teach you how to train your pet. Not necessarily, I can't live with all of you. I know you want me to, but I can't live with all of you. So our jobs as trainers is to teach you how to train your animal, which virtual consults are great for. But then we also ask for a lot of video. Can you take video of your dog when you're not there? Yeah. So we can verify what we're seeing. So we're, as behavior consultants and trainers, we live through video. So virtual consults are a wonderful option, but I understand why it could be a little like, how are they going to help my animal through video, which is why we kind of wanted to present some of this lovely stuff. And now some tips on enrichment. We can talk about this forever, but we're going to keep it short because the goal of this webinar was just to kind of talk about what is a virtual consult, how can they help my pet, what does my pet need help with, but we also wanted to touch base on a little bit of things that you could start doing right away with your pets to make sure they're living their best lives. So enrichment is a really amazing thing that all animals and humans need. It allows animals have natural behaviors and needs, and we have to give them opportunities to express those behaviors. So that's part of enrichment. It aids in stimulating your pet's mind and diffusing excess energy, because all of us are going a little crazy in the house right now. And I've told all my clients, you guys have been in your house for 1 week. Your animal has not had physical or mental needs met for 5 years. so this is, and like Gail and Jess mentioned, now that you're home more, you might be more observant and notice that cute behavior is really annoying, or that attention-seeking behavior that you've been reinforcing for years is now, I need to talk to my client on my phone and I can't have you barking or meowing or pawing at me. So some tips for enrichment. When it comes to any enrichment, we're going to just talk about a few things you can do right away, but it's really important to supervise, especially when we're starting some new items with our pets, supervise and have safety in mind, because the foreign bodies are a thing, and some animals, some enrichment is better for some animals than others. So every animal is individual, and this enrichment item may not be appropriate for this animal, but may be appropriate for this animal. So we always like to take that into consideration. Like, I'm not going to leave a string toy out for my cats, or I'm not going to give a large dog a puppy-sized Kong and leave. Just little things like that, because they will eat it, and then we'll have whole other problems that none of us want. So it's really important to consider supervision and safety first when it comes to any enrichment item. And then also we should really look at a lot of things when it comes to enrichment. It's a lot more than just giving your animal a food puzzle and walking away. A lot of people think enrichment is that. And again, I'm going to focus on the positive. I love that you're giving a food puzzle toy, but it's a lot more than that. So we should be looking at, how does your pet play with the toy? Do they enjoy the toy? Because I know all three of us often meet clients who are amazing caregivers who reached out for help, and they felt their animal really liked this type of petting or really liked this toy. And based on our observations and the animal communicating their body language, they did not like that toy, and they did not like that type of interaction. And you can see how that can be a problem, because then we can weaken the human animal bond, have some animals become fearful, lots of fun, not fun stuff actually. So we want to look at, when we're giving our animals enrichment, is the pet having fun? Are their ears forward? Is their body loose and wiggly? Is their tail up like a beautiful princess, or a question mark if you're not into princesses? Everyone loves princesses. For cats. So we really want to see, do they like that toy? Is the puzzle toy too hard? That's a big thing I tend to see a lot of clients. It's not as simple as just saying, I bought this toy here. It's about finding what your pet likes. And when it comes to introducing puzzle toys to cats or dogs, we always recommend, just like with humans, set them up for success. So we're going to start with a simple puzzle toy. So for a dog, that would be a Kong, just a plain old rubber Kong that's appropriately sized for them. For a cat, it may be the bottom of an Easter egg, because Easter eggs are cheap and I buy them in bulk and use them for puzzle toys. Or it might be a toilet paper roll, but not the ends folded in yet. So they could just bat it around, really simple. And then as that animal is learning those puzzle toys, you can increase the challenge. So now I can freeze that Kong. Instead of just give the peanut butter with my dog's kibble, I'm going to freeze it to make it a little harder. Or with my cat, I'm going to fold in those toilet paper rolls and maybe cut one small hole, or close the Easter egg and drill a hole in it. That's the really challenging puzzle toy for most kitties. But again, we want to start at a pace that they're comfortable with. So some easy enrichment ideas, we can go on and on and on. And I'm sure a lot of you have great things you do with your animals. And that's why I love enrichment. Enrichment's all about respecting all 5 of your animal's senses and providing them an environment that has variety, choice, and some control over the daily activities. Guys, humans don't have a lot of control over anything right now, and a lot of us are going mental. So providing choice and variety to your animals is really important. So consider that when it comes to any enrichment program that I call them programs, but enrichment that you're providing your animal. So some really easy ideas is hide and seek. So could you toss a handful of treats in the grass outside, or the snow? We don't have snow. Sorry, Jess. Or the snow.
It works in snow. It still works in snow.
Yes, I know. I just like snow. You could definitely do that. Could you have a muffin tin with some balls? So again, that's a more simple puzzle toy. We have a muffin tin, the animal, and this can work for cats, dogs, and other species. They just have to move that ball with their nose or their paw to get that treat. Paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls, I live for them. I've been saving them up, and all of you hopefully have plenty of toilet paper right now. So with those rolls, again, you can place kibble or treats in them. And when I'm working with kids, because I don't have kids, but I love them, I have them decorate the puzzle toys. So have your kid make a DIY cardboard puzzle toy for your cat or dog and have them decorate it. And then you can put the treats in it. It's super fun. Boxes with holes cut in them. Boxes are life. We're all ordering a lot of shipments right now. Just even having like 3 boxes, like some fun nose work, like I'm going to put a treat in one of them. That's fun nose work. It doesn't have to be this really complex. It can be too. But I just do nose work for fun for my animals. And I'll just have a few boxes or a few different containers and put a set in one of them, and they have to find it. Ice cube treats are great. So like this photo up here, they just threw some kibble and strawberries and noms for the animals and froze it for them to have to lick and find. Hiding treats under cups. So playing like a treat game, where's the treat, which is again, really fun. Bringing the outside in. So with your dogs, most of them are probably still getting their walks if they like walks, or going in the backyard. But for cats and rabbits and other species, of course, you want to make sure you know what you're bringing in. I know what plants is in my backyard. So what I do for my cats is every 2 to 3 weeks, I just grab some sticks and some grass and some leaves that I know are non-toxic for cats. And I put them in the bottom of a carrier that is because my carrier is always out because they love their carrier. And it just allows them to have different smells and encourages exploration and play, which then we notice less stressed out animals. So it's a win-win-win.
Yes.
We agree.
You're so fun. Jess has been doing an amazing job controlling this.
Thank you, Jess.
I'm trying.
So here's some other examples of puzzle toys. You see this beautiful bunny up here, as well as cats and dogs. So we have egg cartons. Egg cartons are a great option for that beautiful foraging behavior where they just paw, and that's a more simple one. You could put different toys in an egg carton or kibble. Also, bunnies can chew it, which is great. And if a cat chews a little bit of cardboard, it's not the end of the world. So it's great. And dogs too.
For dogs.
Yeah. So there's so many different creative ways you can have puzzle toys for your animals. There's a really great website called foodpuzzlesforcats.com that has a lot of wonderful puzzle toys. And you guys, we should make a foodpuzzlesfordogs.com, because why is that not a thing?
Well, there's a canine enrichment Facebook page that's pretty incredible.
No, that one is incredible, but we should.
Yeah. If you have Facebook, it's called Canine Enrichment. Those guys they've got a lot of ideas.
So many amazing ideas out there.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's why enrichment is so fun, because you're working with your individual animal. Like, I have 5 cats, 1 dog, and a human husband, and they all like different things, and that's okay. So it could be as simple as grabbing some tissue paper, throwing it in a cardboard box, and allowing the cats or dogs to find the food. Or it could be like some of the examples we talked about. So have a lot of fun with enrichment and let your animals live their best lives.
Yes, the opportunities are endless.
Yes.
So we are concluding now, and we've made it to the Contact Us page. So if you are interested in any training, right now, my clinic, it's Companion Animal Training on Facebook. And it's under Companion Veterinary Clinic. We have virtual classes ranging from puppy classes to trick training classes to adult classes, running right now for dogs. And then we offer private and remote for cats. And it is not just me. I am not a one-man team. So I have 2 other wonderful trainers, Shelby Mildenberger and Chantel Turcotte, both certified trainers. Shelby is also a veterinary technician. And so they will be offering those classes as well. And you can always email us at training@companionvet.ca. And Gail, I'll let you talk for yourself.
So I'm at Pawsitive Dimensions. And you can contact me. I'm doing virtual private consultations right now, and potentially starting up some virtual classes for puppies. Kittens. It is going to be kitten season, and a little worried about that in this situation, but it'll be okay. And virtual classes are also, Tabitha, perfect for cat training. So there may be a cat training class on the horizon. So watch the website.
And you can find me at chirrupsandchatter.com. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I like to post a lot of things prior to being stuck in my house. So now you're going to get even more things. So I like to post a lot of tips and tricks, just like the other girls on their social medias. So even if you don't necessarily need behavior consulting sessions or help right now, following us for some great tips is great. Or simply telling your friend, because you might be talking to your friend and your friend might say, my cat's peeing outside the box, or my dog is so annoying. Just be that friend, even if you aren't a trainer, and say, hey, there's help. Sometimes just telling them there's help is a big deal. I can't tell you how many clients I've seen who didn't realize there were help, and no one around them were the kindest, didn't give them a lot of helpful feedback, and they were dealing with problem behaviors for 5 to 10 years before they found me, Jess, or Gail. So I think just remember, virtual consults are a really great option. I see there's a few questions and we'll get to them.
And there's a lot of trainers. We're not the only trainers in the world. But there are a lot of trainers. Like, if you are used to seeing a certain trainer, check their website, because a lot of trainers right now are doing virtual consults and they're trying to get this up and running. And so it's important to understand the majority of us that are positive reinforcement trainers will be doing things similar to this, I would assume. So check your local force-free alliance if you have one.
Yeah, check and hug, virtually hug all your trainer and behavior.
Yes.
And all your veterinary
please.
And medical professionals.
These are small business owners. So
yeah.
please help them. So we're going to get to questions right away, and I'm going to show you this adorable video of my daughter first. And then
So cute.
that's when she was 3. And aprons work very well as treat pouches, in case your children were wondering. So let's answer these questions. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It's really awesome.
Yes, thank
So
you.
let's answer these questions. We kind of did it as we went. And let's see what we got here. Thank you. Hi, Beth. So awesome.
Beth.
There are some, and everyone can see this chat. So there is, Celeste, I hope that the cat is okay with the feather. I suspect we're gonna pass
Those
that.
feathers just pass.
We're gonna pass that feather. But so okay, there's also Joanna's got some really good information on different types. Questions for the 3 of you. Are you still getting a lot of leads at this time? Do you mean as far as training consults, Joanna? I'll just wait for you to respond.
You said yes.
Yes. We have not new, a lot of, for me personally, a lot of my clients that I had previous to the quarantine, the COVID-19, are switching to see me privately. And then we took all our class, not all of our, all of our classes we melded 2 together and then put them on a virtual curriculum as best we could. And honestly, it's very similar because we have a lot of videos. So we'll be sharing a lot of our videos and doing it that way. But not as far as right now, I don't have anybody new that's contacted me. And if you do contact me, you will get sent to Shelby or Chantel for private training because I currently am not seeing any new clients at this time. But we have wonderful group classes and Shelby and Chantel are wonderful. Ladies,
Awesome.
anyone new? Are you guys seeing anyone new?
I am getting I'm still kind of stable. So I'm still getting the same amount of people as I was before, which is comfortable. I don't need to be overrun right now. But everybody's switching to virtual basically is what happened. And they're actually going to more like twice a week instead of like once a week or once every 2 weeks. They're like, all right, well, let's get this done more. So we're condensing it and we're packing up the schedule a little bit. So it's a little different and we're going to see how it all pans out. But so far, so good.
And I've had basically the same amount. With dogs, I am keeping up with a lot of my clients. With a lot of my cat clients, those are clients I don't see as much because we usually do behavior consults and I help them with plans and help them with follow-up. But I've been getting a lot of new cat and dog clients, which has been great. I speak a lot at conferences and obviously that's not happening for everyone's safety. So basically we're doing things like this. I'll be putting out a lot of webinars out there, doing the best with what we can with the situation. And it's actually been, I was telling Jess and Gail as a behavior consultant, doing more and more virtual consults have actually been helpful for me. I think it allows me to focus more as a trainer and behavior consultant. It allows me to focus more on a specific problem and the clients tend to be less, more involved because they weren't rushing to get somewhere or they aren't worried about watching their kid the whole time. So I think the virtual consult concept is great. I know for a few of my clients, they've been a little afraid of it, understandably, if you're not familiar with technology, because I have a lot of older clients. And in those cases, we just provide this resource, or we've provided things like, hey, can you just send me some photos of your house? And then we did a home consult, like a phone consult. So I think it's really important, just because I know Joanna is a trainer, when it comes to those clients who are like, I want to cancel, because we've all had some people cancel for a variety of reasons. Financial reasons are definitely a thing right now. But for the clients who weren't comfortable with the Zoom platform or Skype platform, we've worked together and I would maybe schedule like a 10-minute Zoom conference with them and watch me train my cat or something, or my dog, to get them more comfortable with it. And I've noticed by doing that, a lot of clients have then said, okay, I'm comfortable with the virtual consult. I think it's just hard for them to understand how much similar it is, and in many cases better, because I see a lot of fearful animals. So it's better if I'm not in their house from a safety standpoint, but also for their pets' well-being standpoint, for sure.
For group classes, there's a question: how different when doing a virtual group class? What numbers do you limit it to? Do you have a certain length of class time? We're running our classes at about the same length, and we've actually increased the class number because I have very small classes. I only have 5 to 6 dogs in a class to begin with, or cats, and then we have increased it to 8. For right now. And we have videos for all of our classes. So I have videos for every single behavior that's being taught. And so my trainers and myself will be referencing those videos, as well as trying to do live demos when possible, but then also giving our clients the opportunity to practice and demonstrate and ask questions. And then of course, like most classes like that we teach, we have a behavior conversation every single class, whether we're dealing with house training or crate training or inappropriate or cat litter box habits, those sorts of things. So that still occurs exactly the same. And we will be, someone asked about us videotape or recording this. This is being recorded. And we will be sharing it after the recording, so long as you guys don't mind all the things that were happening in the background. So yeah, if anybody has any other questions, we can stick around for.
There was one for about questionnaires. I don't know if we answered that or not, but yeah, absolutely. There was one. Yeah, do you have questionnaires to fill out questionnaires for virtual? Absolutely, yes, and they're fairly involved. I think for all of us.
I do behavior questionnaires prior to any.
Yes.
So even when I'm doing in-home, because again, I love kittens and prevention and cooperative care, which I do, but I have a separate questionnaire for those. But for a lot of the cases I see, which is more fear, aggression, house soiling, more severe issues, I always have them fill out a questionnaire prior to me going to their home or meeting them virtually, just so I can have an understanding of their concerns, because I might see concerns that they may not be concerned about, and I'm there for the client. And so we can get a better understanding of that animal's history and environment, for sure.
And we had said asking for videos. I do ask for videos of normal behavior, and then as well, if the abnormal behavior can be caught and it's safe to do so. I never ask clients to provoke it. So just so we're clear, because we had said we were asking for videos, but.
Right. If your animal is fearful and bites, we do not need to see.
We don't need to see
it. No.
About behavior.
And you don't need to show us, like everybody wants us to see the behavior, but we don't know. It's okay. We don't want to see it.
With our brains and not have to see that, which is wonderful, because you don't have to stress your animal out.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So perfect. Any other questions? If not, perfect. Is that
awesome?
Is that some new one? Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm just trying to read these.
That one. No, you're good. You don't want to miss anybody. Hi, Marla from Brazil.
Oh yeah, hi.
Hi.
Thanks for coming all this way.
The time zones, guys. They're the worst.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, we have a message. We're just going to keep talking here.
Just keep going.
We appreciate you guys coming.
Thank you so much.
And who knows, maybe I can get these crazy gals to do more stuff with me.
Maybe. Lock my dogs up. But thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining us. It was nice.
Yes, it was a nice break.
Yes.
From hopefully all of you are staying safe and using this time to at least enjoy the time with the family you live with.
We love our families.
I'm trying to think positive. And as a trainer, I honestly worked so much and traveled so much prior to this that I didn't really have a chance to train all my animals as much as I wanted to. So I'm using this opportunity to teach them all the cooperative care, and I'm so excited.
So thank you. And
Yes.
let us know, feel free to email us if you have any questions, or if you're, check out the Facebook pages, we're on Instagram, Facebook, websites, all that stuff. So check it out and let us know if you have any questions.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Be safe.
Good morning.
Bye.
Bye.